Armstrong, and this is Pointless, the quiz show where the lowest scorers are the biggest winners. To stay in the game, our contestants have to score as few points as possible. How do you score as few points as possible? Well, you have to come up with the most obscure answers you can think of. Every single question on Pointless has been asked to 100 people before the show. Can our contestants plumb the depths of their knowledge to find those elusive answers that none of the 100 people could think of? So, for example, we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Prime Ministers of the UK since 1900 as they could, and we found out that 91 of them said Gordon Brown, an obvious answer that would score you a horribly high 91 points. However, only 29 of them said Harold Macmillan, a lesser-known Prime Minister that would score you a respectably low 29 points. Now, occasionally, there are even some answers that none of our 100 people could name. So, for example, none of them said Henry Campbell Bannerman, so that would have been a truly pointless British Prime Minister. And that would score you absolutely nothing. If you find any of those, then we will add £250 to today's jackpot. So let's meet today's players. Keith and Eric, you are our first pair on the show. How do you two know each other?
We've played cricket together for 12 years. Also, our sons went to the same school. We live in South Buckinghamshire, quite close together. And something very important, it's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Eric. Well, our best birthday present of all would be to be in the final, surely. Pleasure to have you here. John and Stuart, our second pair. How do you two know each other?
We're identical triplets born on Christmas Eve.
Where's the other triplet?
Hopefully he's watching.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And Phil and Wendy, welcome back. You were on the show last time. Remind us how you did.
We played the game the wrong way around. We went for points instead of pointless.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, it's an easy mistake to make.
No.
You did fabulously well. Wonderful high scores. But, yeah, remember, go for the other end of the spectrum.
Right, yeah.
And our fourth pair today, Sasha and Karina. Who are you and how do you two know each other?
Hello, we're mother and daughter, and we run a restaurant in Arundel in West Sussex.
Fantastic. What sort of restaurant is it?
Ooh, a bit of everything. Continental, really. Mum's
Continental.
Italian, so a bit of that. English.
Lovely. Well, best of luck to you both.
Thank you.
I hope you do well this afternoon. And finally, we've got AJ and Anjali. Welcome to the show. How do you two know each other?
Hi there, we're brother and sister, so I've known her all of her life.
How much of your life did she miss?
3 years.
3 years. Yeah. Oh, well, let's hope those are the 3 years you were learning all the facts you need to win. Well, best of luck to you. And there's one final person I need to introduce to you all, and he is the keeper of all the pointless facts and figures. He is my pointless friend. It's Richard.
How are you today?
I'm very well. I'm
Good.
very well. Seldom better.
That's good news. As you say, that I've got all the facts and figures on all the questions here, so after each round, I'll be taking you through all the pointless answers. And of course, pointless answers are those answers that none of our 100 people gave. I'll also take you through all the most obvious ones, the ones you've really got to avoid, the high-scoring ones. And I should point out that Alexander has no idea what any of the questions are, so you're as in the dark as our contestants here.
I'm as in the dark as anyone. Thank you very much. Yesterday's finalists, Brian and Philip, failed to win the jackpot of £3,500. We're adding another £1,000, so today's jackpot total stands at a whopping £4,500. But can anybody win it? Try and find some pointless answers along the way, as each one of those will add £250 to that amount. So, let's play Pointless. In the first round, each of you must give me one answer, and you cannot confer with your partner. And you will score 1 point for every one of our 100 people that gave that same answer. And remember, this is pointless, so you are trying to find the least well-known answers and score the fewest points. If anyone gives me an incorrect answer, they will, I'm afraid, score the maximum 100 points, so do be careful. If you do give an incorrect answer, this will happen. And you really don't want to see that. At the end of the round, your combined score will be totalled up, and the highest scoring pair will be eliminated. Only 2 pairs will make it through to our head-to-head semi-final, so the pressure really is on. Our first category is geography. Geography. Look at that look of unbridled delight on the faces of all our contestants. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first?
You first, me second.
Okay, right, whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. Okay, let's find out what our first question is going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many countries beginning with C as they could. But Richard, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, we're essentially looking for any sovereign state that's a member of the UN, so any sort of regular country in the world. It's got to be the English pronunciation of their name, and absolutely crucially, it's got to begin with C. That's the main thing. No, Denmark is very much a no-no on this.
Okay. Right, well, thank you for that, Richard. That's cleared things up. Okay, Eric and Keith, you're our first pair, and Eric, you've nominated yourself to go first.
Well, we agreed. I'm not sure I nominated myself.
I like that. I like that distinction. Good. What are you going to go for?
I will go for Chile.
Chile. You're going to go for Chile. That means you're looking to score as few points as possible. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Chile. Oh, it's good. Oh! Not bad. That means 39 of our 100 people said Chile. John and Stuart, you're next. Stuart, what are you going to go for?
I'll go for Chad.
Chad?
Yeah.
You're looking to score as few points as possible. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Chad. Oh, it's good. 11 of our 100 people said Chad. Okay, Phil and Wendy. Phil.
I am going to take a big risk.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a former Russian country that I think's now split off and separate. I'm going to go for Chechnya.
Chechnya. You're going to go for Chechnya, or Chechnya, as I've sometimes heard it pronounced. Chechnya. Okay, let's see how many of our 100 people said Chechnya. Of course, if it is an incorrect answer, you will score the maximum of 100 points. Oh dear, that is unlucky. Unfortunately, that is a wrong answer, which means you do score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, tell us about that.
That's really tough luck. It recognises itself as a country, but it's not recognised by the UN. It's not a member of the UN. So 100 points. That's really tough luck.
Just to remind you all, we are looking for the lowest number of points. Okay, a country beginning with C. And we are over to Karina and Sasha. Karina, you're first up.
I think I'll say Cambodia.
Cambodia. Well, you're looking to score as few points as possible. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Cambodia. It's pretty good. 25. So 25 out of our 100 people said Cambodia. Anjali, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for Corsica.
Corsica. Corsica. Okay, it is a risk, but you're looking to score as little as possible. You want an obscure country that as few of our 100 people will have named. Let's see how many went for Corsica. Unfortunately, that is another wrong answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard.
Yeah, that's tough. Again, it's not its own country. It's a region of France, unfortunately.
Oh dear. Bad luck. Well, we are halfway through that round. And Jonathan and Stuart, you're doing incredibly well with the lowest score of 11. You keep the score low like that in the second part of the round, and you'll definitely be through to the next stage. But Phil and Wendy and AJ and Anjali, things aren't looking good for you at all, as you've both got the highest number you could have on 100. On any other game show, of course, that would be doing pretty well, but this is pointless, where the object is to score as little as possible. So you've got to try and score as low as possible on the next pass. Now we're going to come back up the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? Okay, AJ, it's your turn. We're looking for a country beginning with C. You need to score as little as possible. If possible, a pointless.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
I'm going to go for Central African Republic.
Central African Republic.
Yes.
Central African Republic. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. That's good. Oh, it's very good. Well done. Fantastic. That adds another £250, so our jackpot now stands at a frankly obscene £4,750. Well done. Well, you did score that elusive pointless. Let's hope it's enough to keep you in the game. Right, now to Sasha and Karina. Our current high scorers are Wendy and Phil and AJ and Anjali on 100, so you want to be scoring 74 or less to be absolutely safe. There's the red line. You want to be getting below that. Sasha, your turn.
I'm going to say Cyprus.
You're going to go with Cyprus. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Cyprus. You're safe. Oh, might it be pointless? No. $20 points. That takes your total to 45. You're safe. You're definitely in the next round. Wendy and Phil. Wendy, your turn.
I'm going to take a massive risk because I'm not 100% sure. But what the heck? I'm going to go for Crete.
Crete. Okay, you're going to say Crete. You are currently on 100. The high score at the moment is 100. You have to score as little as possible. There's a chance the remaining pairs might go over 100, but the lower you can keep this, the better. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Crete. Oh, bad luck. Unfortunately, that's a wrong answer, which earns you the maximum of 100 points. Richard, tell us.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's part of Greece. That's really tough luck on two different answers.
I'm so sorry. You have scored the maximum of 200 points, so I'm afraid you are definitely eliminated at the end of this round. But for the remaining pairs, there are several more pointless answers out there, so if you can try and get those, you can build up that jackpot for later on. Jonathan and Stuart, John, your turn. What are you going to go with?
I'll go with Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Costa Rica. Oh, very good. Ah! Close, but I suspect there are a few coffee drinkers in amongst that 100. Well, that takes your total up to 21. Keith and Eric. Keith.
I think I'll go for a revolutionary answer and go for Cuba.
Cuba. Excellent. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Cuba. That means 16 out of our 100 people said Cuba. That takes your score to 55. So that's the end of round one, and the losing pair with a record-breakingly high score of 200 is Phil and Wendy. Bad luck. I mean, you were brave, though. Richard, what answers should they have gone for?
There were 3 pointless answers, one of which we've already had, which was the Central African Republic. The other two were both island groups. There's the Cape Verde Islands and the Comoros as well would have got you pointless, would have got you 0. Nobody said those at all. The worst answers you could have given: Canada top, China second, Chile third.
Very good. Well, thanks, Richard. Phil and Wendy, that was your second and final chance on the show. You just didn't have the pointless knowledge you needed to win, I'm afraid. So we do have to say goodbye to you. But for the remaining 4 pairs, it's time for round 2. Okay, so the round 2 category is musicals. Musicals. Can you decide in your pairs who's going to go first and who is going to go second?
Okay.
Right, whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. Okay, remember, this is pointless. It's all about scoring the fewest points possible. You're looking for the answers the fewest of our 100 people said. Let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many songs from the film Grease as they could. Can you be any more specific, Richard?
Yeah, any song on the movie version of Grease, and not just songs sung by the cast, also things playing on the radio, anything that is credited at the end of the film from the film Grease, but nothing from Grease 2.
Right, so Eric and Keith. Eric, you're a Grease geek, I can tell.
Guess who isn't a Grease geek?
Eric and Keith, you're up first. Eric, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for a guess, and I'm going to say Sandy.
Sandy. That's definitely a song from Grease, even I know that. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Sandy. It's not that bad. Nice one, yes. 29, not bad. John and Stuart, you're next. John?
I'm going to go, I think, for Hopelessly Devoted to You.
Hopelessly Devoted to You. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Well, it's a correct answer. "26. That means 26 of our 100 people said Hopelessly Devoted to You. Not bad. Karina and Sasha, we're looking for a song from the film Grease.
Summer Lovin'.
Summer Lovin'. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Oh, no! Unfortunately, that's a wrong answer, which means that you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, what's going on?
Yes, it's a lyric from a Grease song, but it's not the title of a Grease song, I'm afraid. Really tough luck. Really tough luck.
Oh, that's tough luck. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Anjali and AJ. Anjali, you're up.
I think the song is called Summer Days.
Summer Days. Okay, let's see how many of our 100 people said that, and let's hope that's the right name. Summer Days. Oh, no! I'm sorry to say, that's also the wrong name for the song. You've scored the maximum of 100 points. Halfway through the round, Jonathan and Stuart, you're doing incredibly well with the lowest score of 26. But Sasha and Karina and AJ and Anjali, things aren't looking good for you as you've both got the highest amount of points with 100. If it stays that way, one of you will be leaving at the end of this round, okay? So you've got to try and get those pointless answers on the way back up. Now we're going to come back up the line. Will the second players please take their places at the podium? So we asked 100 people to name as many songs from the soundtrack of Grease as they could. AJ, you saved your sister before by getting a pointless. Can you do it again? Think what was playing on the radio.
I've never seen the film.
You've never seen it?
No. Well, I've had it on in the background at Christmas, but I've never actually paid any attention, so songs on the radio really wasn't a help for me.
Okay.
A song that I've heard, Grease Lightning. I don't know if that's a lyric or a song name.
Grease Lightning. Let's see how many of them named Grease Lightning. That's a correct answer. 51. That takes your score up to 151. Over to Sasha and Karina. Sasha, your turn.
I'm going to say We Go Together.
We Go Together. You are on 100 points. You've got to be aiming to get at least less than 51 to be safe. We Go Together. Let's see how many of our 100 people said that. You're safe. 7. Well, that takes your total up to 107 points. Well, AJ and Anjali, I'm afraid you have now got an unassailable lead of 151 points, which means I'm afraid you are definitely eliminated at the end of this round. But for the last two pairs, there's every opportunity for you to try and get those elusive, pointless answers and build up that jackpot for the final. Stuart and John, your turn. Stuart, we're looking for a song from the film Grease.
You're the One That I Want.
You're the One That I Want. Let's see how many of our 100 people said You're the One That I Want. 51. That means 51 of our 100 people said that. That takes your score up to 77. Keith and Eric, your turn now. Keith.
I've never seen the film. I never wanted to see the film. When it came out, I spent all my time listening to punk rock. But I do know there was a song came out called Grease is the Word.
Let's see how many of our 100 people said Grease is the word. It's another wrong answer. I can't believe how many wrong answers we've had on this question. That takes your total up to 129. Richard, Grease is the word, not a song.
Well, we've had a lot of wrong answers, but they've all been almost right. It's just called Grease. It's just called Grease, and I cannot allow it, much as I would love to.
So at the end of round 2, the losing pair with the highest score are AJ and Anjali. That was really tough.
Having not seen the film made it a bit tougher.
Well, you've been fantastic contestants. Richard, what answers should they have gone for if they'd wanted to stick around?
Well, there were a whole bunch of pointless answers, but all very, very obscure. A lot of them were from the stage musical, and then played in essentially the dance scenes and on the radio. There was It's Raining on Prom Night. Anybody?
Yeah.
Rock and Rollers Here to Stay. Should we have a sing along? And Rock and Roll Party Queen. They were
Obviously.
all featured on the radio
Yeah.
and in the jukebox. Alma Mater, whole lot of shaking going on.
Right.
La Bamba.
La
If
Bamba.
anybody at home got any of those, then goodness me, congratulations.
What were the highest
I'll tell you the
scores?
popular ones. Number 3, everyone was dancing around it with. So we had Summer Lovin' and we had Summer Days. Anybody? Summer Nights.
Summer Nights.
So close. And we had the top 2 answers. We had Grease Lightning, and you're the one that I want. Joint first.
OK, well, thanks very much, Richard. The round 3 category is sport. So, who's going to go first and who's going to go second? OK, right. Whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. Let's find out what the question is going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Formula One drivers as they could. Richard, what exactly does that mean?
This is this could be carnage. I think this is a really, really tough one. We're looking for any of the 20 drivers who started the 2009 Formula One season. Very, very best of luck to you all.
Wow. Remember, you need to score the lowest number of points. So you need to give the answer that the fewest of our 100 people said. Keith and Eric, as ever, you're first. Keith.
Adrian Sutil.
Adrian Sutil. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Adrian Sutil. It's the right answer. Oh, it's good. Oh, very good indeed. You know your Formula One, I think, don't you?
I've seen him crash a few times.
Yeah, I thought you might have done. Well, that means that 4 of our 100 people said Adrian Sutil. A very strong start to, I think, what might be a very tough round. Stuart and Jonathan, you're next. Stuart.
David Coulthard.
David Coulthard. OK, well, let's see how many of our 100 people said David Coulthard. Oh. Bad luck. Unfortunately, that is a wrong answer, which means you score the maximum of 100 points. Richard, David Coulthard.
Yeah, tough luck, a good guess, but he retired at the end of last season. He's now part of the BBC commentary team.
Bad luck. Sasha and Karina. Sasha, who are you going to go for?
I'm going to say Jetson Button.
Jenson Button. OK, we've asked 100 people to name as many Formula One drivers as they could. Let's see how many of them got Jenson Button. Well, I'm just going to remind you, remember, we want to score as few points as possible, not as many. In any other game show, that would be a brilliant score. Sadly, this is pointless where the object of the game is to score as little as you possibly can. We're halfway through the round. Let's see where we are. Keith and Eric, you're doing incredibly well with an enviably low 4. But Jonathan and Stuart, things aren't looking that hot for you. I'm afraid you've got the maximum possible score of 100. So we're going to come back down the line. Could the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, Karina, your turn. We're looking for a Formula One driver. what are you going to say?
I don't know the first thing about Formula One racing, but I'm just going to guess. I know it'll be high. Lewis Hamilton?
Lewis Hamilton, okay, you are on 90. The highest score at the moment is 100. To be absolutely safe, you want to score 9 points or less. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Lewis Hamilton. 82, that takes your score to 172. You are now the highest scorers. John and Stuart, it's back to you. Jonathan, your turn.
I'm going to have to take a guess at Fernando Alonso.
Fernando Alonso, 172 is the highest score from Karina and Sasha. To be absolutely certain of staying on, you want to be scoring 71 or less. There's the red line. You want to get below that. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Fernando Alonso. That's a correct answer. Oh, it's good. Very good. That brings your total to 130, which I'm afraid, Karina and Sasha, means you are definitely eliminated at the end of this round. Because Eric and Keith, even if they score 100 points, will still only have 104. But, Eric and Keith, it's a chance for you to see if you can find another pointless answer. What are you going to go for, Eric?
Well, I'm going to try and go for a pointless, because I'm not sure it's right, okay? So I'm going to go for Sebastian Buemi.
Sebastian Buemi. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Sebastian Buemi. It's the right answer. It's good. It's very good. Oh, look at that! I'm afraid Mrs. Buemi was in our 100 people. That's such bad luck. Oh, you were one away from a pointless. So at the end of round 3, the losing pair with the highest score are Sasha and Karina. Sasha and Karina, bad luck.
That's okay.
Formula
One's not for us.
I could have asked something on Barbie or something like that.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, when you're back next time, maybe Barbie will be one of our categories.
They were brilliant.
Here's hoping. Anyway, you've been fantastic. Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard, what answers should they have gone for if they'd wanted to stick on?
Well, I mean, amazingly, there were no pointless answers at all. The very best answer was Sebastian Buemi, which is excellent. Nico Rosberg and Sebastian Bourdais, who started the season at Toro Rosso, no longer there now. He would have got you 3. Top 3, we've already had the top 2 from Karina and Sasha, which were Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton. Third place, guys, you're absolute geniuses of this. Who do you reckon is the third most?
Kimi Räikkönen?
Kimi Räikkönen. Absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, Richard. OK, Sasha and Karina, we have to say goodbye to you for today. But you'll be back next time for your last chance. But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. Well done. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for today's jackpot, which currently stands at £4,750. Here's how the head-to-head works. You are now allowed to confer. Each team will take turns to give me an answer, and you'll each have an equal number of turns. The first team that accumulates more than 100 points, or the team that goes over 100 by the most, will lose. So, as always, to stay in the game, you want to score as few points as possible by saying the answers that the fewest of our 100 people gave. Keith and Eric, you performed best over the first 3 rounds, so not only do you get to decide whether or not you go first, you also get to choose the topic. So, you get to choose between British bands or international communication.
Nor do I. We'll go with British bands, please.
British bands. British bands it is. Would you like to go first or second?
I think we'll go first, please.
Let's play Pointless. OK, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many studio albums released by the Beatles as they could. Richard, more information on the question.
OK, yeah, it's very much pre-punk again, I'm afraid, Keith, but this is studio albums released by the Beatles, so there's no compilations, no anthologies, no greatest hits, just the studio albums released by the Beatles. and there are 13 of them.
13 studio albums. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Remember, you don't want to go over 100, so you want to score the lowest number of points every time. What are the studio albums by the Beatles that no one else would have thought of? Eric and Keith, you ought to go first. What are you going to say?
Right. We'll go with Rubber Soul.
You're going to go with Rubber Soul. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Rubber Soul. Oh, it's good. Very good. 6. That gives you a score of 6. Just 6 of our 100 knew Rubber Soul. Okay, John and Stuart. A studio album by the Beatles.
We're going to go with the Beatles.
You're going to go with the Beatles. Let's see how many of our 100 people went with the Beatles. Oh. Oh, it's very good. Oh, Lord, this is going to be a really long round. You both know your Beatles albums better than I do. That takes your score to 1. Okay, back to you, Keith and Eric.
We'll go with Revolver.
You're going to go with Revolver, okay. Now remember, you need to avoid taking your score over 100. You want to be scoring 94 or less. That is there, just so you know. That's the line you have to get below. Let's see how many of our 100 people went with Revolver. Safe. 11. Eleven of our 100 went with Revolver. That takes your score up to 17. John and Stuart.
I think we'll go with Abbey Road.
You're going to go with Abbey Road. Your score stands at 1. To be absolutely safe, you want to be scoring 99 or less. Let's see if Abbey Road does it for you. Well, you're safe. 30. That takes your score to 31. Back to you, Keith and Eric.
They came out with a double album, which is called The Beatles.
The double album called The Beatles. You want to be scoring 83 or less to remain under 100. Let's see how many of our 100 went with The Beatles. It's good. 25. That takes your score up to 42. Richard?
Yeah, just to say that the Beatles also is better known as the White Album. So plenty of people said it, the Beatles or the White Album.
So that's the White Album out of the running. John and Stuart, your third turn. You want to be scoring 69 or less to be absolutely safe. There's the line there. You want to be below that point.
I'm going to take a chance on Yellow Submarine.
Yellow Submarine. Let's see how many of our 100 went with Yellow Submarine. You're safe. 26. That takes your total up to 57. Keith and Eric, your fourth turn.
We'll go with Hard Day's Night. Yeah. Hard Day's Night.
Hard Day's Night. Remember, you need to avoid going over 100. You're currently on 42. To be absolutely safe, you want to be scoring 58 or less. Let's see how many of our 100 went with Hard Day's Night. You're okay. 21. That takes your total up to 63. John and Stuart, your fourth turn. You're incredibly close. You're within 6 points of each other. Running out of the obscurer Beatles albums now. I'm going to have to push you for an answer, John and Stuart.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. You're currently at 57. You want to be scoring 43 or less. You have to get below there to be absolutely safe. Oh! Oh, Oh dear. That takes your total up to 103 points. Well, it's been incredibly close. You've each had 4 turns, and Jonathan and Stuart, you've gone over 100 points, so I'm afraid you know what that means. When you kicked off with the Beatles, I was thinking, God, they really know their stuff. Do you?
No, not at all.
Read on the Beatles.
Well, bad luck, but you've done incredibly well. Applause for them, surely. But Richard, what answers should they have come up with if they'd wanted to stay in the game?
Well, the lowest ones that we haven't seen so far, Magical Mystery Tour would have just scored you 3 points. Beatles for Sale, that would have got you 2 points. We've had With the Beatles, of course. John and Stuart then followed up the lowest answer, rather impressively, with all 3 of our top 3, because they were Yellow Submarine was third, Abbey Road, and then the one that pushed you over the edge, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Thanks, Richard. OK, Jonathan and Stuart, you've wasted one of your chances to get through to the Pointless final. We have to say goodbye to you for today, but we'll see you next time for one last chance when hopefully you'll do better. But for Keith and Eric, it's time for our Pointless final. Congratulations to Keith and Eric. They've made it to the end of Pointless. You've fought off 4 pairs, and you've won our coveted Pointless trophy. Now you've got a chance to win our Pointless jackpot. Nobody's won the jackpot for the last 2 shows, so at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £4,750. That'd be nice. The rules are simple. To win the money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer that none of our 100 people could think of. We've had 1 pointless answer today. Neither of you gave it. But, Eric, you did come close with a score of 1. So all you have to do to win the money is go 1 better and find 1 pointless answer. First, you must choose a category from these 3 options, and you can go for Canterbury Tales, British actresses, or international flags.
How well do you know Chaucer?
I did 2 of them for O-level.
Right, it's 2 more than I've done. British actresses, how many British actresses? International flags, that could be a flag with a particular colour in. Your choice. I'll stand by your choice.
Oh, thank you very much.
And blame you.
OK, come on.
Canterbury Tales.
Canterbury Tales, OK. So we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many of Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales as they could. Richard, explain.
Yeah, we're essentially looking for any of the tales in the Canterbury Tales with the word tale in the title, so not the prologue, not the retraction or any of that sort of thing, just the tales themselves. Very, very tough, but the final round always is very, very tough. So best of luck.
Yeah, I'll second that. Best of luck. OK, you now have up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. All you need to win that £4,750 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Your 60 seconds start now.
Right, let's think of which is...
The Reeve,
Yes.
the Reeve,
Yeah.
Nun's Priest's Tale, Wife of Bath.
OK, so do you think they're the 3 most...
They're the most, all the partners. They're the most obscure ones that I know.
Right, OK. Well, let's lob one in. Let's lob in...
The Nun's Priest.
Yes, the Nun's Priest Tale.
You can give us all 3 now.
OK.
Yeah.
Do you know the partner?
I think that's
OK.
the Reeve.
The Reeve.
And then we can go partner.
If you want
The
it,
Partner
you've
and the
got
Wife
30
of Bath.
seconds.
I've heard of both of them. I don't know how many the people have heard of. Right. We'll go for the Wife of Bath.
OK. So you've got more time. You've got more time. We need 3 from
No,
you.
we're happy with that. Don't want to waste your time.
OK, we'll stop the clock there. Which 3 answers are you going to go for?
The Reeve.
The Reeve,
The Nun's Priest.
the Nun's Priest,
And the Wife of Bath.
and the Wife of Bath. OK, so we've gone for the Reeve's Tale, the Nun's Priest's Tale, and the Wife of Bath's Tale. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people said the Reeve's Tale. This is for £4,750. We've got to hope this is a pointless. How many went for the Reeve's Tale? OK. We just need 1 pointless from any of these 3. Oh, it's good. Oh, dear. One of our 100 people, one of them,
Was that Mrs. Chaucer?
went for the Reeves tale. Mrs. Reeve, I fear. So unfortunately, that's not a pointless answer. Don't worry, you still have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. We are looking for Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. This has to be a pointless answer. Let's look at the board. Oh. The next one is The Nun's Priest's Tale. Let's hope none of our 100 people went for The Nun's Priest's Tale. That sounds pretty obscure to me. Oh. Let's put it to the 100 people. Let's see what they said. The Nun's Priest's Tale. This has to be a pointless. Okay, £4,750. Down it goes. Keep going down. Down it goes. Has to be a I'm so sorry. 5 of our 100 people gave that as their answer, so it's not a pointless answer. You only have one final chance to win today's jackpot. We are looking for Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. We've got to really hope that none of our 100 people went for the answer, The Wife of Bath's Tale. Let's find out how it did. For £4,750, how many of our 100 people answered The Wife of Bath's Tale? It's got to be pointless. Down it goes. It has to be a pointless for you to take that money away. This is your last chance. Oh, no!
Never mind.
Oh, bad luck. I mean, you did so well there. Unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer. So you don't win today's jackpot of £4,750, which rolls over to our next show. However, you do get to take away our excellent pointless trophy. I'm really sorry you don't get to walk away with the jackpot as well as the trophy, because it looked to me like you had that one sewn up. Richard, what could they possibly have done better?
I was going to say, whichever member of our 100 who said the Reeves Tale, I think owes you a drink. That's, was there anything else you were toying with? Any other?
We were talking about the Knight's Tale, the Pardoners.
Pardoners Tale.
The Pardoners Tale wouldn't have won you. The Knight's Tale wouldn't. There are a number that would. The Clerk's Tale.
No.
The Franklin's Tale. The Man of Law's Tale. The Manciple's Tale. The Summoner's Tale. The Prioress's Tale. And the Physician's Tale. They all would have won you £4,750.
It's goodbye from Richard.
Right.
And goodbye from me. Goodbye.